Hi, this is Shad with LoveToCode.com. Welcome back to another tutorial on Eclipse. In this video, you will learn how to use Eclipse to debug Java source code. I will cover the following topics: setting breakpoints, starting the debugger, stepping through code, viewing variables, and changing variable values. Okay, so let's get started. We will learn how to use debugging with a sample program. I have a program that would generate a list of random students. The program will also display the students. I'll run the program just so you can see the output. And as you can see at the bottom, the program simply creates 3 students and displays the information to the screen. Before we can debug the code, we must set a breakpoint. A breakpoint is a line of code the debugger will pause at during the debugging session. In the main method, let's set a breakpoint on line 20. I'll right-click, I'll say toggle breakpoint. Now let's start the debugger. Right-click the application and select Debug as Java Application. Eclipse will ask you if you want to use the debug perspective. Select Yes, because this will give us special views that can aid us in the debugging process. Once the program starts running, it will stop at the breakpoint we set on line 20. At this point, the program execution is paused, we can inspect the variables, but there's nothing interesting up there yet. At this point, what I want to do is simply step over code. So I'm going to use this item here on the toolbar, step over. I'll step over the next line. I'll step over for the loop. And at this point, I'll actually want to move into this method because there's a method called create random student. And I want to move into it and see the actual internals for it. To step into the method create random student, I will use this toolbar option, step into, and I'll select it. And now this will actually take me into the create random student method. And at this level, I want to step over each one of these methods. So I basically just want to execute this line of code. And the one thing I want to draw your attention to is this section up here at the top for the variables. So you're going to see new variables pop up with new values. So I'll step over again. So that's our temp first name. We get the last name index. We get the last name. We get a random age. And then we create a student object. And note here, we have this student object created. I can expand this student object, and I can actually get information about the various fields that are defined in it. So this temp student that was created has the age of 33, first name of David, last name of Adams. And this matches with the variables that were defined as I was stepping over the code. And then here I'll do one more step, and this will return back to the call. And so at the result here, I step over one more time. Then I have this student object that's created, and it also has the same data that was returned from that method. Let's walk through the loop one more time. I'll just do a step over, and now do a step into, and I will step over each one of these. So I'll get the temp first name, I'll get a temp last name, and I'll get an age. What I'd like to do now, though, is actually change some values before I actually create the student object. So I'll choose first name here, and I will right-click. So instead of the name of Claire, I want to change the name to Daffy and hit OK. And for last name, instead of Davis, I want to change its value to Duck and then hit OK. So now we have a student, Daffy Duck. And then we will continue with looping through the example. And this will bring us back to this temp student we've created. And now if I expand it, we can see that this student now has the value of Daffy Duck. At this point, I don't want to continue stepping through the code one line at a time. I'd like to simply resume running at normal execution speed. So on my toolbar, I can move up and I could select Resume. Notice the output of the program. We have the 3 students, and the second student is the one that we modified during the execution, and that's Daffy Duck, last name, first name. So we were successful in debugging our Java program with Eclipse. This wraps up our video on debugging. You learned how to use Eclipse to set breakpoints and debug a Java application. Please subscribe to our channel to view more videos in Eclipse and Java. Click the thumbs up to like our video. Also, visit our website, LoveToCode.com, to download the Java source code used in this video.